Do me a favor and watch this video.
I just gave birth to our baby a week ago, and he followed me into the shower and started pointing at me while I'm standing there naked, screaming at me and telling me that I'm fat and I need to lose weight and not have my stomach poke out like that.
And you want to know why he yelled at her and called her fat after she had just given birth to their child? Because she asked him to put his clothes away. Yes, that's the reason.
Now, there are two ways to look at this. Number one, if it's true that the husband they say this for no reason because some wife told him to like put his clothes away or some stuff like that. If it's true that the husband said this, then obviously it's in the wrong and he has a lot of issues to work on. Now, some people say that she should break up with him in the comment section. Surprisingly, there are women I know, kind of surprising, right? And if this is true, and let's say this is the pattern of the husband's way of acting over a period of time, then sure, that's a okay advice. If the man has always been a dick and always been somebody that is going to attack you and insult his wife because she says basic things like, could you mind taking this clothes away? And it's like, bitch, you're fat. And if that's the case, then fine. I don't think the relationship is really going to work out that much. However, if it's a lie, then we have just believed the woman that came on camera with no evidence, with no prior way of knowing whether our husband actually did such a thing or not, and convinced thousands, if not millions of people, that she's dealing with an abusive man without evidence. And just because she's crying, every one of us believes her. And it's funny because in the comment section, I see a lot of women, especially women, saying break up with him, divorce him, and stuff like that. Now, if the guy was actually an abuser and actually a manipulator or whatever the case that is abusing her emotionally, that is an option, right? If your husband is telling you that you're fat when you're having his child, then obviously I don't think that relationship is really going to work out. Now, is divorcing going to solve your problems? Probably not. Probably a prior check ahead of time would have been better to know what kind of a man this was before you decide to marry him. And I'll say the same thing about men that have been abused by their wives as well. Probably it was a better idea to do your background check to make sure that your wife was not a psychopath before you married her, right? So there is that. But what if this is just a lie? What if this woman is lying and crying to the camera? And this makes me sad to some extent, is that human emotion is so strong that we do not consider that probably somebody could be lying to us. And this same case with me, right? A while ago, I did a video, and by a while ago, I missed the last video I did was about how I felt for a woman that was obviously a satire channel that came on talking about how she charged a sperm donor to come to court and pay her child support, right? And I got it wrong, and I apologize in that video for getting it wrong. So this just goes to show that human emotion is so strong that we may be lied to or we don't know. And also, this is just my personal bias. I'm kind of cringy whenever I see a woman crying on camera. You turn on the camera and you decide to cry and talk about your experience. To me, that sounds a little bit too perfectly take. It sounds a little bit too made up. And I know women are very good at using innuendo and gossip and character defamation and destruction to try to destroy their opponent, whether it be man or woman, especially men, right? Because they know that they can always cry to the camera and the simp is going to listen to them and believe them regardless of whether they have any form of proof or not. So knowing that, I'm very, what's the word? I'm very, very cautious about believing women that turn on the camera and start to cry and give unreasonable or what seems like somewhat unreasonable excuses of to why they're doing what they're doing. That their husband just decided to call them fat because she told him one simple thing. That seems rather weird to me. And that's why I'm not really in the rush to believe what she's saying. Now, if she provides evidence of, let's say, records of him being abusive and stuff like that, I can understand that. But right now, I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm not going to lie. Because she just turned on the camera as well. This guy just told me that I am fat because I told him to take away his, right? Dirty clothes or dirty laundry. And it's like, really? That's what happened? Nothing else happened? You didn't go out insulting him at all? Nothing happened? He just decided to come ahead and like, insult you? But just to tell you that we should be careful of whatever people say. Just because they say it doesn't mean it's true. Especially if the camera they start crying out the back. What the fuck? So if you guys can find me the actual footage and you guys can someone point me to the actual footage of what actually happened, because I was looking for the footage, I couldn't find it for the life of me, so I could do a deeper dive into it. If you guys can find me the actual footage of this woman, maybe I'm really not wrong. Maybe she'll actually put evidence behind it. I don't know. Maybe this guy that made this shot cut out the evidence. So if you guys can find me the actual footage and send it to me, then I will gladly cover it. But for now, this is highly suspicious. It's kind of weird that you turned on the camera and talked about how this guy is calling you fat or having a child with, or for you saying that you should take away your dirty clothes. Come on now. All right, guys, that's all I gotta say today, and I'll see you guys later.